time I go to do a video, there's something always wrong with my hair. Okay. Looks like there's something on my lens. I think I got it. We're just gonna do this. We're gonna do this, okay? What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Taylor, and it would mean the world to me if you click that subscribe button and also turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload a new video. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this video. Of course, I have another true crime video for y'all. So for this true crime case, we're going to be talking about a woman named Laci Peterson. Laci Peterson went missing on December 24th, 2002 in Modesto, California. And I think the worst part about this true crime case is that Laci went missing at like the worst possible time, and it just breaks my heart that her family had to go through this at such a important time of the year. So on December 23rd, 2002, it was just a normal day. Laci and Scott went to her sister's salon, and Scott even got a haircut, and Laci's sister and mother invited Laci and Scott over for dinner for Christmas Eve. So Laci and Scott go back home, and around 8:30 that night, Laci calls and lets her mother know that her and Scott will be there for dinner for Christmas Eve. And around 10, this is where Scott and Laci are starting to go get ready for bed and lay down, and they're just laying down watching a movie when they drift off to sleep. So the next morning comes, and Scott and Laci both get up, get breakfast, and then Scott decides to leave for work. Records were pulled, and from 10:30 to 10:56, Scott was using his work computer, so it was confirmed that he was at work. Also, they pulled records of where Scott looked up how to put a certain tool together that he had received in the mail for work, and he had searched that up on the internet on how to put it together. However, there was 20 minutes unaccounted for, and some people believe this is where maybe he could have done something to Laci, but others people believe like maybe that's just when he was putting the tool together, because I mean 20 minutes to put that tool together would have probably been about right. So at 12:54, Scott decides to go to the boat dock, and they even have eyewitnesses who have seen Scott at the boat dock preparing to put his boat in the water. I mean, it's not like a huge boat, it's a little boat. So there was witnesses that saw him, that he was at the boat dock at that time. Then from 12:55 to 2:11, this whole time Scott was out fishing, and then from 12:15 to 3:25, this is where he started packing up his stuff and getting ready to head home. On the way home, he calls Laci and lets her know that he is on the way home. He's going to make a quick stop by his work and then head home and get ready to go to her parents to eat Christmas Eve dinner. However, Laci does not answer the phone, so he just leaves her a voicemail and continues about his day. So at 4:13, this is where Scott arrives back at his work, and then he leaves his work and gets home at 4:30. So Scott gets home and he notices Laci's car is home. However, Laci isn't home, and when he goes in the house, he realizes that she had left a bucket of mop water, and so he dumps that out, and then he goes in the backyard and sees that their dog is just out randomly in the yard with the leash still on, and that was kind of weird and strange to him because he didn't figure Laci would just leave the leash on their dog and leave the door open. So Scott just assumed that she was out with her family, maybe shopping or getting ready for the dinner, maybe went to the store and was buying some more groceries. So he just does his laundry and takes a shower because of course he's been out fishing, so he wanted to get clean, and he just it's not really alarming him at this time. However, when Scott gets done getting his shower, he goes to check the voice messages, and he hears the voice message that he had sent Laci, and he doesn't think nothing of it. Oh, okay, maybe she wasn't home when I called her, so that's why she hasn't heard the message yet. But then he also hears a message from her stepdad, who had called to ask to bring whipped cream when they come over. So this is where Scott starts to get kind of concerned, because he's like, okay, if she didn't hear my message and her parents are calling her asking for stuff, that means she's not with them. So where is she? So at 5:18, Scott decides to call Laci's family and ask if they had seen Laci or if Laci was with them. Laci's parents say, no, Laci isn't with us, we haven't seen her. And this is where panic starts to occur. So about 30 minutes later at 5:47, Laci's stepdad finally decides to call 911. And at 6:50, this is where police arrives at Laci's house. And this kind of, I don't know, this part kind of bothered me because it took them an hour to get to Laci's house. And she's missing. I mean, is that normal? Because, like, I figured they would showed up, like, faster than that. But that part just kind of got to me because I figured they would have been there in, like, 5 or 10 minutes. So police arrive at the house. Of course, police want to come in, look at the house, look at the truck, kind of do a sweep of the house, and Scott tells them, yeah, come on in, I don't mind, y'all don't have to have a warrant, just come in, you know, do what you need to do. Well, of course, since Scott is Laci's husband, they first look at him as a suspect. So from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning, Scott is in the police station and he's being questioned by the police, you know, just asking him what did he do all day to prove that, you know, he didn't do anything to Laci. So all that happened on Christmas Eve day, and now it is Christmas Day, December 25th, 2002. So on Christmas Eve day, the police asked Scott to take a polygraph test, and at first Scott's like, yeah, I'll take it, I don't mind, but then Scott's family told him no, to wait till he gets a lawyer, and of course police automatically makes this look as suspicious. But I mean, in a way, I do kind of see why Scott's family would want to wait until he got a lawyer, because polygraph tests can be used in court, and if you do fail them, then you're basically screwed. And through all of this, Laci's family is on Scott's side. They got his back. They're like, we know he didn't do it, and they're just being very supportive of Scott at this time. And as of now, Scott is getting a lot of attention from media outside his house. The yard is just loaded with people from the media wanting to talk to him, and he doesn't want to talk to them. He just stays inside. And then on December 26, 2002, the neighbors said that they had actually seen Laci walking that day she went missing. And there was reported 21 or 24 sightings of Laci that day, and they all said that she was walking her dog. So then police asked Scott to do a formal search of the house where they come in, look into like DNA samples and all that stuff, and Scott says, yes, just let me talk to my attorney, and if my attorney, you know, lets me know that that's okay, then I will allow y'all to come in. Well, Scott went to his attorney and contacted him, and he didn't hear nothing back from his attorney in time, and the police basically just got like tired of waiting and impatient, and they were like, you know what, it's whatever, we're gonna come in and do this search anyway because we have a search warrant. So they went in and they did the search of Scott's house. So December 27th, 2002 comes around, and still there's no signs of Laci, nothing has came up, no DNA, and the eyes are still all on Scott. And then also on December 27th, there was actually neighbors that reported a robbery of their home. They had been gone for Christmas Day and they had come back and their place was just robbed and they did not know what happened. So December 30th, 2002 comes around and police say that this robbery is solved and that it happened on December 26th. However, they were like, no, that wouldn't have been able to happen because on December 26th, there was a bunch of news reporters and media out in Scott's yard. So if there was a robbery right across the street, somebody would have saw it. I mean, because they said that there was a safe stolen and that they picked up the safe and took the safe outside and set it down and like took it away. Like, how is somebody going to take a safe out a house and steal it with a bunch of media across the street? Like, because somebody would have saw it. That same day, police got a call from a woman named Amber Fry, and she said that she knew Scott Peterson and was having an affair with him, but she did not know he was married. So this is where Amber starts ganging up with the police, and she puts a recorder on her, so when she talks to Scott, then, you know, if he spills the beans about something, then they got it on a recording. And apparently, Amber and Scott met at a Christmas party, and they had been introduced by a coworker and actually been dating for 5 weeks before Laci disappeared. And keep in mind, Laci and Scott are husband and wife. And also, I forgot to mention this, but Laci is like 8 months pregnant with Scott's child. So December 31st comes around, and Amber is now officially working with the police to try to catch Scott because they still think Scott is the guilty one. Scott tells Amber that he is going off to Paris for the new year so they can pretty much meet up when he gets back, but that is totally a lie. Scott is just telling her that, but he's really staying home. And I think he just did this because he's like, they're trying to make him guilty of a case right now, and he doesn't want her to know, but on the other end, she does really know. And then of course, since all eyes are on Scott, people start looking into this more, and of course, all eyes are on Scott, so people start looking into this more and find out that Scott went to a girl, and a girl had actually went missing at the same college Scott and this girl went to, so they thought Scott had maybe had something to do with that too. However, that was totally not the case. So on January 6th, Scott confesses to Amber that he is Scott Peterson and that his wife is missing. Not only that, but media gets a hold of a picture of Scott and Amber at the Christmas party and told police like, hey, we found this picture, just want to let y'all know because we are going to release it in the media. And this whole time, Laci's family doesn't know that Scott has this little girlfriend on the side or even had an affair with Amber. So this is where police decide to pull Laci's parents in and say, hey, we just want to let y'all know that Scott has been having an affair with this woman named Amber, and she is working with us right now with recordings, and we just want to let y'all know this because the newspaper is about to release a picture of them at a Christmas party, and we wanted to tell y'all instead of y'all finding out that way. So instantly after Laci's family is told this, they're like, why did he kill her? They automatically are no longer on Scott's side. They think that Scott killed Laci. Then on January 24th, a press conference was held, and this is where Amber Fry comes out and talks about her affair with Scott. Scott sees this, and you think he'd be mad at Amber, but he told Amber he was proud of her and proud that she came out about their affair. That's just weird to me, but anyway, after this, Scott feels that he needs to give an interview because he's like, okay, they got all their eyes on me, they're not looking for Laci anymore, and I want them to look for Laci, so maybe if I do an interview, they'll stop having their eyes on me and they'll look for Laci. So he does this interview, and he even lied in the interview and said that he did not lie to police about this affair with Amber, but then again, some people said that he was never even asked if he had a girlfriend, so how could he lied to the police if he wasn't asked? But he said that Laci knew about this affair and that she was okay with it, she just didn't want to break up their marriage over it, and she just wanted to move on from it. However, you can't really trust that because, I mean, Laci wasn't there to say, yes, that is true. So in this interview, kind of towards the end, he's talking about how much he loves Laci and misses her, and he says she was, I mean, is amazing. So that's where things get a little bad, I guess, for Scott, because it hasn't even been a week and he's already talking in the past tense about his wife, using was, but then he hurried up and was like, I mean is. So he changed it up real fast. So basically this case goes cold until police get a hit about Laci. But y'all will have to wait until next week to find out what happens, because I want to make a part 2 about this, so don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I upload it next week. And also give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, guys. I also want to thank y'all for the love and support on these true crime videos. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in next week's video.